Hello, 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 everyone. Hi, good evening. Good evening. Hey, Peanut Shell, you number one in here tonight, girl. Hey, I seen you early. You was in here for a minute. I appreciate it. God bless. There you are, girl, number one. And Miss Justice, number two. Much love, PG. Much love to you guys. God bless. Kathy, number three. All right, girl. All right. And Carrie Hall. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Purple hearts and prayers for summer. God bless. Hi, beautiful PG. Mods, chat. Good to see y'all. Much love. Much love to you guys, girl. Much love to you guys. All right. Let me get on down through here. Um, hey Bridget, how you doing? Sweetie Sue, how you doing? There's Jane, Carrie, Deputy Sheriff, Anna. How's everybody doing? Good to see you in here, Deputy. Oh, we got the real Andy B in the house. It's all BS. Yeah, I hear this. I hear this. Hey, Carrie, I appreciate that, girl. I appreciate it. Seeking Truth, how you doing, sweetie? Uh, show, show that shit. He says, yeah, show that shit. I want that shit stuff show too. I want a show too. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to, I'm going to put out some proofs tonight for sure. Ad, how you doing, sweetie? How you doing? Australia, good to see ya. Hey, Jane Allen, how you doing? Let me see. I want to make sure I get everybody. Brenda, how you doing, sweetie? My three girls, screaming mama. Retired lady, how you doing, sweetie? Let me see. There's my Georgia Well child. How you doing? Says I made it live. Amen. Angel, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see everybody in here tonight. I try to get as many people as I can as we go down the line here. There's, I'm that Pam. I have never told anyone. Lisa told me that she stole. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Um, I hope. I hope not. Right? Right, Solo. How you? How you doing? Oh shoot! I wish I wouldn't have pulled up Pam. Right? Mm, that's funny. That's absolutely funny. Um, Good evening, PGOA. Purple Hearts for Summer. God bless. Much love, girl. Okay. There's a lot going on out here, right? A whole lot going on. A lot of people. A lot of people getting it. A lot of people out here getting came at sideways. Um. Anyway, uh, TM Tiffany. She says she has right. She has proof. We're gonna hear. We're gonna hear it, you guys.
For the last several years I have dismissed the sighting of Andy Bernard on Ben Hill Road the day Summer went missing. June 15, 2021. The claim that Andy Bernard was driving in the back of Ben Hill Road and Fred Hill had to pull over to let him pass by held no weight to me personally because I didn't have any proof of him being there, and without it I would never say he was or wasn't there. Today I am making this post to share. That has changed. I don't just believe now that Andy Bernard was on the road that day. I know for a fact that he was. I have 100% solid proof that Andy Bernard was on Ben Hill Road prior to Summer's disappearance. Andy
Yeah, Andy Bernard was on Ben Hill Road prior to Summer coming up because he lived. He lived there, right? Andy lived there. He lived at 125. He lived, come down, get on the road, and turn there to go to the beach, and you go right up his driveway. You come out of the Wells driveway, turn, and you go straight up his. Um, he lives there. I'm sure he was, on Ben Hill Road from Summer's birth, right? From her birth up to her disappearance, because he lived there too. But June 15th, 2021, was Andy on the road before 6 o'clock 6 o'clock that day, 6 p.m. Was Andy anywhere on Ben Hill Road before 6 p.m. on June the 15th, 2021? Flying up and down the road, like all the way at the freaking end. He would have to go, past his place, past the Wells place, and keep on going. He would, right? He'd have to pass, I think it's Phil's Road right there. He'd have to pass, that and keep going, right? That's a lot of going, baby. When he lives down, down one end, he'd have to go to get all the way down to Freddie's place, and then turn around and say, "Move your fucking shit so I can get by, Fred." And then go to the end, which, it is a dead end, and turn around and come back. "Move your freaking shit, Fred." Right? "Get the hell out of the road, man. I gotta get back past you." Why the hell would you be all the way down there? Why would you be all the way down there? Asking Fred to, get off the road and back on the road and off the road and back, to the point that, oh, poor Fred, he couldn't even go to the crusher because of Andy. All of his plans were just actually crushed that day, right? Because Andy kept making move, and then he started to hook up and move, and he started to hook up. Come on. Really? Because I'm going to tell you what. On June 15, 2021, Fred Hill and his old lady Laura, all the way back when Summer first came up missing, all the way back, let's go all the way back, like within a few days after Summer come up missing, Fred Hill's talking. And let's go all the way back there, because Fred Hill tells law enforcement, and he tells, anyone to listen, anybody that'll listen. He told everybody, and Laura too, that they was, out of Ben Hill Road. And during the time, they said they had went out of Ben Hill Road before Candace ever was pulling into it with Summer and Grandis, right? They said they pulled out, and they actually seen Candace. They actually seen Candace right down the way. When they were leaving, they said they saw Grandis, Candace, and Summer passing them while they was headed to the crusher. That's the bullshit they told us. They said, and they said that Grandis, Candace, and, and they said that was around between 3:30, because they was running a little late, right? Everything that could go wrong went wrong that day. They was running late. So there you go. There you go. They went and I have, does PG got proof? Oh, hell yeah. I bring proof, right? PG brings proof. I don't say nothing I can't prove. And I don't say, like this bull crap right here. I have 100% solid proof, but I don't show it. I have mother freaking solid proof, and I'm about to pop it up for y'all. Boom. Laura. Hey, when you guys hauled cars off and was late getting there, did you guys bring it back, the car back? No, we made it on time. They didn't have to bring a car back from the crusher. No, we made it on time. We made it to the crusher. We were able to get the car in there, and we was able to get it crushed. Okay? Now, right there, that shows that Fred wasn't on the road himself. Fred was not on the road himself to even see Andy. He wasn't even there to see Andy from what he's saying, right? So why does Fred keep lying? Why does Fred need to stare a shit pot and put Andy on that road that day? There's something wrong here, right? Something wrong here. Something just ain't right. Fred never talked until January 2022 when I met him, January 2022. Yes, Fred was talking, Ziggy. You wasn't the only one inside of Ben Hill Road that knows people. He was talking. He was talking to neighbors. He was talking to the Wells. He was talking to all kinds of people. Come on. You wasn't the only one getting information. I know you went down there, and went into the holler as well. And Fred also talked to you. That's all good and dandy, but Fred knows. Fred, you was talking to other people too, right? That was out before. That was out within like the first mother freaking week. That's what he was telling law enforcement, right? Ziggy acts like, she was, you were inside of Ben Hill Road in 2022, Ziggy. I was inside Ben Hill Road 2021, right? There you go. There you go. I done heard that shit before it ever hit your ears. I already heard it. That's the same crap he was, same crap him and Laura was giving Don. Don wanted to know, things. And that's the story Fred was telling, and he was sticking to it at that time. And there you go. There you go. Because you're in here verifying that what I'm saying is true. Because you said, oh, he didn't say this stuff until 2022 when you went down there. So, that tells me that he kept this shit going for, already for months. Because when you got there, he told you the same thing. So, it's the same story they were sticking with for months and months and months. But all of a sudden, this shit all changed recently. It's all changed recently. And I'd like to know why. I'd like to know why. Is it because, everybody's starting to understand that Chad Arnold came into Ben Hill Road and caught Candace down there at Fred's house? And, there was no Summer in the car? That he pulled in between 3:30, I hear from between 3:30 and 4:30? Right there about the time that Fred and Laura was hauling ass out of Ben Hill Road to go crush that car. Here comes Chad Arnold in there. And who does he catch down there at Fred's house? It wasn't Andy down there. It was Candace Wells. It was Candace Wells parked down at Fred's house. And no Summer in the car. And she tells Chad, and it ain't even it's like I said, between 3:30 and 4:30. And she's already telling Chad that Summer's missing. Oh, Summer's missing. Summer wasn't supposed to be missing until 6:09, right? Actually, between 5:55 and 6 o'clock, because she called Don Wells at 6:09. She called Donald at 6:09. And Summer's only supposed to be missing like 5 minutes. At tops when she calls Donald. So, there's no way in hell that she could have been telling Chad between 3:30 and 4:30 Summer's missing. And, that was you and Fred and Laura that came out and said that stuff, Ziggy. I don't even know what you're doing. I don't even know what you're doing over here. Because that was you. Matter of fact, Laura was up on this panel. Laura came up on this panel and said that Chad Arnold came in and caught Candace down there at their house. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys remember this. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember. Ziggy coming over here with Laura, and Laura coming up on my panel, and Laura telling us that Chad Arnold came in and caught Candace at their house between 3:30 and 4:30. And she said that Summer was already missing, and they found that suspicious. Fuck yeah. So how is Andy on the road when, Chad's ass is in there and it's Candace Wells down there, right? You tell me how that could be Andy. I'm going to tell you something. No, you guys are not going to say Andy Bernard was on that road. I won't tolerate that shit. And I'll tell you why I won't. Because Summer don't need a bunch of damn lies in her case. She don't need these lies in her case. I'm not going to tolerate no lying in this little girl's case, because them lies are what's screwing her case up and causing it not to be able to be solved. And I will not tolerate it. Now I'm going to tell you something. Andy Bernard was not on Ben Hill Road making Fred Hill move cars back and forth, back and forth. I don't give a shit what Tiffany Marie says. You know, Tiffany Marie is the reason Summer didn't have a reward fund. She's the reason that Summer's reward fund was taken away, right? I don't give a flying F for Tiffany Marie. If it wasn't for her, Summer might still have that reward fund. But, her lying and then acting like people holding the reward fund was embezzling the money or stealing it or something was the whole reason they didn't want to hang on to it no more. And the whole reason Summer lost it. So I don't want to hear that B-Notch's mouth at all. Straight up. I don't want to hear her. She's back out here. And not only that, but I didn't ever like her. They're sitting around kissing Jody Sue's backside, right? Jody Sue's backside. The person that said that they heard a scream at 4:30, 4:42. Actually, at the beginning, it was around 4:42, 4:47. 4:42, 4:47. And that shit got moved back. That shit got moved back too, y'all. That shit got moved back to 3:30 or 4:30, right? All of a sudden, it's around 4:30 to 4:42. At first, it was 4:42 to 4:47. She knew because of a text or a phone call or some shit. And I'm going to tell you something. That scream has been dismissed because there ain't no truth to it. Now Tiffany's right about that. She's right about that. There was no damn scream. Absolutely not. There was no scream. That was made up BS. I'm going to tell you what, Jody Sue lied her ass off about hearing a scream. She didn't hear a damn thing. And I know she didn't hear a damn thing because I'll tell you why. Right here. Candace was using that scream. Candace was using that scream. Right? Let's listen to it. Because I always bring the proof, baby. Don't mess with me. Don't even bother to try to F around with PG. Because I bring the proof to the fucking party, right?
Took her, had to actually come up into the yard and take her. And I don't understand because, my neighbor heard her scream, but I didn't.
Had to come up into the yard and take her? I thought she was in the house, Candace. I thought your daughter was in the house. What do you mean had to come up into the yard and take her? They didn't have to come up into the damn yard. They had to come up into your fucking house. They had to come up inside your home to get your daughter. Not up in your yard.
I hear her scream because I was in the house with the boys trying to find her, and I guess when...
Oh, I didn't hear the scream because I was up in the house with the boys trying to find her. How the hell are you up in the house, Candace, at 4:30, 4:42, even 4:47? Let's say 4:47. How in the hell are you up in the house anytime before 5 o'clock, not hearing a scream, looking for your daughter, when your daughter didn't even come up missing until freaking 5:55 to 6:05? It would have had to be an hour fucking later before Summer even came up missing, Candace. So what are you talking about? That's what I'm telling you. These people ain't making no sense, man. And when they ain't making no sense like this, when they're grasping at shit to try to grab a hold of, to, put up a smoke screen, some bullshit. I'm telling you. When anytime you see people like this trying to snatch on to some bullshit fucking lie and use it to their advantage, you know they ass is guilty, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you know somebody's guilty when they be trying to use some bullshit freaking lies to hide that ass behind. to try to make their bullshit sound better? Hell yeah. That's what I'd be talking about, man. I'm going to tell you something. I don't like people underestimating our intelligence levels out here, right? Especially a bunch of crudballs like this. I mean, if you know, if this was the Ramsey family, I would say, well, you know, we might have to step up our game. We'd have to probably, you know, really, you know, use our education. But I'm going to tell you, with this right here, oh, come the hell on. A mother freaking kindergartner could keep up with them, right? Even a kindergartner could say, hey, these motherfuckers are shady as hell, lying like hell, making shit up like hell. They must be guilty as hell. You don't go making stuff up like this. She's trying to use Jody Sue's scream, you know, to gaslight people. And her daughter wouldn't even have been missing at that time. She's so ignorant. You know, really, I'm going to tell you what. Candace can't tell time. She can't do math. Straight up, she does not. You know, you could tell she must skip math class all the time, right? She must have been cutting during math class, right? You're supposed to bail out on study halls, not your mother freaking main courses, right? Because that's where you're going to learn something. You got to be there, right? You got to be there. You know, you might be high, but you got to be there. Right? I always learned better when I was kicked back and relaxed anyway. So, you know. But you bail out on study hall. If you want to step out, you know, and have at a fatty. You mother freaking, you know, you do that stuff in between them classes, or you do that during, you know, your freebie class, right? It's just the way it is. But not these people. I don't even know if Candace went to school at all, you know, after grade school. She was too busy running off joining a circus, right? Bozo the fucking clown. But she's sitting here and she's lying. Because, you know, at the time that scream was, at 4:30, 4:47, up to 5 o'clock. Up till 5 o'clock. Candace, Grandis, and Summer would have been outside. Because they didn't even get back home. They didn't even come back into Ben Hill Road until damn near 3:30, right? And then they had to go up on the hill. And then, you know, according to them, they had to, you know, park the vehicle, right? At first, they had to open the gate. Then they have to stop and lock the gate. Then they have to go all the way up to the top, right? And park the vehicle. Now they got to get out and get Grandis out. Then they have to take, you know, these so-called groceries into Grandis's house or trailer. Then they have to take the stuff into the other, you know, dump that they got. They call a home. They have to take the other stuff up in there. And then Candace says, you know, they were putting stuff away and they got something to eat. Well, shit, it would be after 4 o'clock. It would be after 4 o'clock when you got all of that done, right? And Summer was sitting on the floor playing. When Candace decided to go out the door to Grandma's house, she didn't tell nobody to watch Summer when she went to Grandma's house the first time. She didn't say, boys, I'm going over to see what your grandmother's doing because she's out here sitting. So keep an eye on your sister. No, she just hauled ass out and went right on over to Granny. She didn't care about Summer at all. And she went and talked to Granny. And she says, hey, Granny, what's up? What you doing out here, Grandma? Right? And what did Granny say? What did Granny say? Granny says, oh, I'm doing okay. I just got up from my little nappy poo. And I got to get these freaking cactuses that poke the hell out of people and make their fingers hurt for a week. Oh, well, I got to put those in a pot. Oh, I know exactly who we could get out here to poke their fingers with cactuses and plant those in a pot for you, old granny panties. Let me go get Summer. I know who ain't going to do it, the boys, because they're smarter than that. But I'll go get Summer. So she went and got Summer. Hey, Summer, you want to come out and get your fingers poked up by cactuses for Grandma to put them in a new pot? Oh, sure I do. I already don't get no sleep as it is, right? Due to your dumb shenanigans. But sure, why not? Come out there and get my fingers poked up where they'll probably be sore for a week. Right? I'm in such a big hurry. She pops right up and comes out. Goes over to Granny's camper. Plants up these cactuses. And then she goes and washes her hands. Right? And she goes inside Granny's camper and she gets a piece of candy. Peppermint, her favorite. Right? Let us not forget that. And then they go over all the way to the house, and Candace made sure she walked with Summer all the way to that house. And she says, boys, watch your sister. Well, she didn't give a damn about Summer being watched earlier. Why would she give a damn then? I tell you, because the whole story is bullshit. It's all bullshit. That's why. Now I'm going to tell you, you guys plainly heard Andrew. You plainly heard Andrew last night say that he has a dark secret, that he knew 3 days into all of this, what went on. And you heard him say that he knows exactly what his boy done and that he's taking it to the grave with him. Right? Has to be something awful sinister if you're not willing to tell it. You need to take it to the grave with you. Well, it has to be pretty bad. All I'm saying is everything that we've heard about June 15th at that water hole and everything we've seen, the bogus staged up video that was taken of Summer laying on the milk jugs, kind of allows us to know that Summer was no longer with us when she was laying on those milk jugs, in my opinion. Right? We know this. We know this. So anyway, we got that part of it. We got that part of it pretty much figured out, if you ask me. Now, and somebody inside of Andrew's chat, I heard today, I wasn't there, you guys. I wasn't in Andrew's chat. I told you guys last night, I don't affiliate myself with things that offend my ears and my eyes. But I did hear, word got to me, that there was somebody in there. Can't remember what the name of the person was. It got screenshotted. But someone in there said that they had asked Hunter where Summer had gotten dressed, right? Where did she get dressed? And they said that Hunter said that she was dressed inside Allison's house. Now that is a true statement that was in the chat today. They sent me a screenshot of the person, and they deleted it. Andrew deleted it as soon as the person posted it. He deleted it. They also told me that. They said as soon as they saw it, they screenshotted it. But it got deleted immediately. Luckily, you know, it did get screenshotted. Yeah. So, now, if Summer was no longer alive on the milk jugs, and Candace and them staged her up on those milk jugs and was headed back to Ben Hill Road with her. Well, what happened to Summer? Why was Summer not in the vehicle at Fred's house when Chad Arnold pulled up? Why was Summer gone from the vehicle when Chad got there between 3:30 and 4:30? Where did Summer go? Because Grandis already got dropped off up on the hill. Right? Granny got her ass dropped off up on the hill. Where did Summer go? She was in the back seat on some milk jugs, but Chad said she wasn't in the back seat on no milk jugs when he came in there. He said the only one in the vehicle was Candace. And she was saying that Summer was missing. So where it was Summer? Where was Summer at? What happened to Summer after Candace left Allison's house? What happened to Summer after the video was taken about 10 minutes from the house to show law enforcement they had Summer with them, even if it was staged? And law enforcement do believe, like Ronnie Lawson said, why did it take you 4.5 hours to call law enforcement? Right? 4.5 hours, Summer would have been back there in the back seat. Right? She'd have been back there in the back seat on some milk jugs. So that shows us that law enforcement believes Summer wasn't alive on those milk jugs as well. They just couldn't prove it. There wasn't enough of, everything setting in yet to determine, yes, for sure she wasn't, she was no longer with us. So, with that being said, where did she go after this? Where did she end up at after this? Well, the only place I understand that she was down at Fred's house. And Fred and Laura had just pulled out of there. And Laura says they did make it to the crusher. And let's listen to Fred. Let's listen to what Fred has to say.
That happened, Boo. Oh, I remember what I asked him. Because if something like that happened and he did tow out something that had a body in it, he would not have been aware of it. It would have had to have been that. I did ask him if he thinks there's a chance that Candace or somebody stashed Summer in one of the vehicles that he was towing out that day.
Oh, Candace or somebody stashed Summer in one of the vehicles that he was towing out that day. And he wouldn't have known it. That it's very possible that Candace stashed Summer in one of his vehicles that got towed out that day. I thought they didn't tow nothing that day, Ziggy. I thought that he was too busy moving everything back and forth for Andy. Right? Ain't that what Ziggy said? Ain't that what Ziggy said? That didn't she come over here to tell Andy Bernard that, you know, there was no towing that day because Fred was too busy moving the cars back and forth for him to come back out, in and out? Come on. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard that. Yeah. We all heard it. Ziggy was over here making it like Fred's on the road, and that's why, you know, that it's all true. But you just heard Ziggy's mouth tell you, Ziggy's own fucking mouth tell you that Candace could have stuffed Summer in one of them cars that they were towing in and out of there that day. Right? Going back and forth to the crusher. And it's kind of funny that Chad catches Candace right down there, right after Fred and Laura pulls out, right after they pull out. Chad Arnold comes in and catches Candace right there at the house, and no Summer in the back seat. So, where do you think Summer possibly went? Sounds to me like Summer might have went to the crusher. If you ask me, I don't know. That's my opinion. If it's your opinion, put a 2 in there. If it's your opinion that Summer possibly went to the crusher, and that's why she wasn't in the car when Chad came in there and caught her at Fred's, put a 2 in the chat. And why Fred and Ziggy's lying now, why they're lying and trying to change the story, I don't know. I have no idea why they're trying to, you know, turn the table. It makes me believe even more so now that that's what happened. Why? Because Fred is lying. Because Fred is trying to, you know, separate. He's trying to separate himself from going to that crusher now. He's trying to separate himself and what he really done that day. Right? Yeah. And why would you do that? The only reason you would separate yourself from something, yeah, is if you're guilty of something, right? I mean, if you're not guilty, you just, you know, go on and say, hey, that's what we was doing. Who gives a damn? We didn't do nothing wrong. We had nothing to do with anything. I don't know why the hell Candace was down at my house between 3:30 and 4:30 trying to, you know, tell somebody that her daughter's already missing. I have no idea. I want to know where that kid is too. I want to know, you know, did she do something? Was she planning to plant something at my property? Was she planning to, you know, what was she trying? What was her, you know, I would want to ask Candace. I would want to ask her. I would personally ask her. Like, if Chad Arnold told me that Candace's ass was down at my property after her daughter came up, you know, missing, like if a friend of mine's child came up missing, and, you know, I tell you what I would do if I was living at Fred's house and Candace showed up down there and you know, I found out her daughter came up missing, law enforcement's all in there, and I heard she's at my house between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. I would have went down there and told law enforcement, what was that woman doing at my house? I got a friend that said she was at my house yesterday between 3:30 and 4:30, and I want to know what the hell she's doing at my house. I want you to ask her, and I want you to find out, and I want you to let me know. Was she at my house trying to plant something? Because she told this guy her daughter was already missing, and she didn't even call law enforcement until 6, right? I'm 30. So I want to know. I want to know what's going on. Hey, sissy, I have a message Ziggy sent me about a week ago. She wanted me to send it to Chris. Oh, wow. Can you come up? Can you come up, Mary? I would appreciate it if you take the link and come up just for a minute. I sent you the link. I appreciate if you come up for a minute. But yes, I would be all over law enforcement. I would be all over law enforcement wanting to know why this woman was at my house. I'd be worried. I'd be worried that was she trying to plant? I would have them come to my house. I say, yeah, I want you guys at my property right now, checking everything. And I would have took that guy straight down there because law enforcement was down there every day. And Chad told Fred about it the next day, right? The very next day, Chad came and told Fred about it. If I was Fred, I would have took Chad straight down to law enforcement, which was down at the Wells property. And I would have been talking with law enforcement about, what Chad has seen and all that went down. And I would have wanted to know what this woman was doing down on my, down there on my property before her daughter supposedly ever came up missing. But she's telling this man that the child was already missing. What was she doing around my property? That would very much, that would keep me awake at night, right? That would keep me awake at night wondering what the hell's this lady doing or what was she trying to do? But not Fred. Fred wasn't pulling Chad down there telling law enforcement. Fred wasn't down there doing anything, right? Makes you wonder. Okay, I'm bringing you up, Mary.
Okay.
How you doing, sweetie?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You said that Ziggy sent you a message?
Yeah, she did, and it's on what you're talking about.
Oh, what did she say?
Okay, hold on a minute. She sent it to me through Messenger. I didn't know that her and are you still there?
Oh, I am.
Okay.
I'm listening. Oh, I lost you, Mary. Come back. I sent you a new link. I sent you a new link in the chat. I lost Mary for a minute. She'll be back, you guys. I think she went to pull up the message and obviously it knocked her off. She'll be right back. Hold on, you guys. Come back, Mary. But and also, Fred tells, you got Ziggy saying, oh, Fred said it's very possible that Candace could have stuck somewhere in one of these vehicles. Why didn't he tell police that? Why did he have police go to the scrapyard, right, and check that vehicle that he had towed up out of there if she possibly could have did something like that? Why did he go have the scrapyard checked? Why does he wait on damn near 4 years down the road, 4 years down the road to start talking about this? Because he knows that whatever he scrapped is already scrapped. You ain't going to find it, right? You're not going to find it now. I'm going to tell you, Fred Hill is he's like one of the top suspects. And, if you ask me. Okay, Mary, I'm bringing you back up. I appreciate you coming back.
Yeah.
And God bless. So, what did she say?
Okay, now I just screenshotted it and sent it to you through Messenger. If you want to pull it up, because it kicked me out of your live when I went to.
Okay, I'm going over to check it right now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm desperately trying to get a hold of Chris, and my emails are getting returned as invalid emails. Can you please make sure he gets this? It's super important. Chris, she says, Mr. McDonough, I'm sorry to email you, and I know you're bombarded with emails, but I'm at the end of my rope and have tried everything. I'm sure you know, but this is Adriana. I go by Ziggy on YouTube, and I met my husband January of 2022 when I interviewed him about Summer Wells case, and I'm sure you've heard of him, Fred Hill. Anyways, long story short, Fred saw Andy Bernard on the road and also recorded for Hawkins County's law enforcement on June 15th, 16th, and 17th. Law enforcement had Fred identify vehicles on the road, and one of them was Andy Bernard. Fred also vividly remembers being within feet of Andy when Fred had to unhook his trailer and let Andy by on Ben Hill Road. And Andy knows he is on video. The police showed him. And there's more. Anyway, hold on. I got to get all the way down here because I dumb read that. Now I got to find where it goes to and again. And he still somewhere denies it being on the road. Andy still is denying being on the road. Will you please talk to me and Fred? No one will listen. I've tried everything for years. Please give us a call at I thought I was going to give the number. Nah, I can't do that, y'all. Thank you so much for your time. Adriana and Fred Hill. That's the email I sent him. Please, with prayers. It's BS, Mary. It is BS.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think about it. I didn't even know that she married him. That's like, I mean, I kind of heard things about them being together or something, and then when she wrote me that, I was like, what the hell?
Right? And no, oh God, no. This guy, his old lady, clearly right here. His old lady, Laura, she was asked, hey, when you guys hauled cars off and was late getting there, did you guys bring car back? She said, no, we made it on time to the crusher, the junkyard, to the crusher. They made it. He's lying. They were, and then I just played Ziggy saying right here, this is Ziggy herself saying,
because if something like that happened and he did tow out something that had a body in it, he would not have been aware of it. It would have had to have been I did ask him if he thinks there's a chance that Candace or somebody stashed Summer in one of the vehicles that he was towing out that day.
See, he was towing vehicles that day. There's no way.
Right.
Why all of a sudden this guy wants to separate himself from going to that crusher?
Yeah.
You know, and he wants to, you know, throw his cousin under the bus, Andy, to
Yeah.
get it done.
Yeah.
And, you know, don't you think there's something suspicious about that?
Yeah. 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 I just when I came into your live and was hearing you talking about, and I was like, no, something's fishy, because you know the way
Right?
you sent me. So, anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, um, I'm going to tell you, Chris could see right through this one.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm saying is, you know, I don't think Ziggy wants to know Chris's opinion about all this.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris is an ex-cop. He's an ex-cop. He's going to see exactly what we're seeing and more
Yeah.
to all of this. I mean, and then he's going to get some more of his cop friends up there, and they're going to pick it the damn apart, ain't they? They're
Hopefully,
going
yeah. That would be nice. Yeah.
to they're going to pick it apart, and when he's done picking it apart, I don't think Fred's going to like. I don't think Fred's going to like, you know, how it all went. If
Yeah.
you ask me, you know, I don't think he's going to like the ratifications of everything at
Yeah.
all. You know, clearly, this guy has been saying, you know, like Ziggy said right here in the chat, right? She said right here in the chat, you know, oh, Fred didn't even say nothing till February. You know, he didn't even say that until February of 2022 when she went up there. So she admitted that that's what him and Laura was saying, and they were.
Yeah.
That's what they were telling Dawn and Candace. That's what, you know, they were telling. Well, I don't know about Dawn and Candace, but that's what they were telling. Oh, I lost you again, Mary. Come back. That's what they were telling law enforcement in front of Dawn and Candace. That's what they were telling, you know, law enforcement in front of Dawn and Candace. That's what law enforcement was saying, that Fred and Laura was saying, that they wasn't even in the holler, that they had been out, you know, towing cars. That was their alibi that day. And they said that they didn't get back in to Ben Hill Road until around, you know, actually after 7:00. It was after 7:00 when they came in, because law enforcement was already everywhere. So, you know, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, these guys are, they're lying about Andy. They're lying about Andy. I don't care what, you know, what's being said, and I'm going to prove that too. Oh, sorry, got kicked out. Hey, girl, you're more than welcome. Come up and hang out with me on panel. If you want to come back up, please do. I love having you up here. If you don't want to, that's fine too. I understand. But yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you letting us know about that email. Absolutely. God bless. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm about to show you guys how much Fred Hill loves to tell nothing but, and listen to him slip up. Here's the slip of Fred's lips, right?
And supposedly Andy turned and met the.
And supposedly, listen to this again, you guys, right here.
And supposedly Andy turned and met the.
Supposedly? I thought you were there, Fred. What the hell you mean, supposedly? Either he did or he didn't, right? I mean, if I was there, I'm not going to say, well, supposedly. You know, I'm saying supposedly Chad Arnold came in and caught Candace down at your house between 3:30 and 4:30, right? Supposedly, this is what, Chad's supposed to tell police. This is what he's supposed to told you and Laura. So supposedly he came to your place and caught Candace between 3:30 and 4:30, and she was telling him Summer's already missing, right? That is a supposedly, Fred, because I wasn't fucking there. But if I would have been in the car with Chad Arnold, I wouldn't be saying supposedly. I would be saying we came in there and Candace's ass was at your house. We seen her at your house. No ifs, ands, or buts. No supposedly, she was. And so if you were there and you saw it, it wouldn't be a supposedly. It would be fact. It is. Andy was seen. I seen Andy turning around right here. Not supposedly. I seen it because you said you saw everything. You had eyeballs on everything. He was the whole reason that you was staying inside of Ben Hill Road that day, moving your shit all over the place for him. And his erratic actions. Meeting up with this vehicle and that vehicle and all kinds of vehicles, right? So, if he was doing all of these things, it wouldn't have been supposedly, it would have been he was. Right? There you go, you guys. Another slip of his dumb lip that allows us to know it's all bullshit. That it's all bullshit. And when he says supposedly, that means someone else told him. That means someone else made this shit up right here. Somebody else made it up. Somebody else said, hey, let's say this and let's say that. And instead of him, telling it the right way, like, let's tell mom that, little brother stole the cookies out of the cookie jar instead of us. Okay, mom pops up, right? Mom pops up. Who got the cookies? Little brother got the cookies, right? Little brother got the cookies. Yeah, little brother's the one that got the cookies. You're not going to say, supposedly little brother got the cookies. If I say, if one of my other siblings say, little brother got the cookies, and I say, supposedly little brother got the cookies, then that means the brother that was saying that told me to say it, but I was too dumb. I was too dumb to say, brother stole the cookies. I say supposedly, right? Because I wasn't there. I wasn't there, right? I'm being coerced. To say something that I know nothing about. So it sounds like Fred is, ain't very intelligent. It sounds like somebody made, let's turn the table. Let's, they might still be able to go back to the junkyard. They might still be able to pick apart or mount down, little by little that vehicle if they still got it and see if there's anything in it. So you better separate yourself from, the scrapyard in that day and put Freddie and, put Andy in there. And all this stuff you're supposed to seen and all these things you're supposed to did. So people would take you'd focus off of you in the scrapyard and Candace being at your house right when your asses were pulling out. And no Summer in her car anymore. Right? That's what it sounds like to me. Fred's not intelligent. Fred is not intelligent at all. I'm going to tell you something. Fred is what they call a compulsive liar. He is a compulsive liar. That dude lies and lies and lies. And he's one of those people, he's one of those people that, he don't even know why he's lying. There's people out there. I don't know if you've ever met. I've met a few of these people. You know, sad to say, I think I've met about every fucking thing there is to meet. Right? I think I've met everything there is to meet. You know, and that's true. I've even met an insane fucking clown in an alley one time. So, you know, yeah, try to top that, you guys. Try to top that one, because that's true shit. Right? Now I understand why, you know, why McDonald's don't have the clown hanging around anymore. You know, after that little situation, but that's another story for another day. You know, but what I'm talking about is, you know, he is an obsessive compulsive liar. And he's one of those people who, you know, just lie for no fucking reason. I mean, just out, you know, they don't know how to tell the truth, right? Put a freaking 1 in the chat if you've ever met people like that they just lie about the dumbest damn things. You know, you're like, you want to say, you don't have to lie to kick it, right? Man, you don't have to be making shit up or lying. I mean, they just lie to be lying. When they ain't even no reason to be lying. They lie. You know, and I'm going to be honest with you. That shit be getting on my nerves, because you're sitting right there knowing they're lying, right? They're lying like a motherfucker. And you're like, this is the dumbest fucking shit to be lying about, right? This is the dumbest shit to be lying about. You're just, you know, and then you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you're like, right? Is that right? And it's like, you can't wait to get away, right? You can't wait to get away from them, because, you know, you don't want that shit rubbing off on you. You don't want that stuff rubbing off on you. I mean, I don't know what's catching and what's not. It's like, I gotta go. But yeah, you know, shit, I don't know. I don't know what kind of, you know, the Bible says that, you know, that this is evil spirits housing these people up, right? When people's got all these problems, there's some kind of evil spirits housing them up. I don't know. You know, if that thing decides to vacate, I don't want to be nowhere around, right? I got to go straight up. Oh, wow. O'Sullivan, I appreciate it. Super sticker. All right, for PG. And I know I passed up. Yeah, there it is. Hey, butterflies, I appreciate that, honey. I really do. Another super sticker. All right. Amen. I appreciate it. But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you guys. He's a compulsive liar, and I don't know why Mary says Donnie is the biggest liar of them all. You know what, girl? I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. He's another liar too. You know, Don Wells is he's a sinister type human being. He's one of those people that, you know, ain't only a liar. He's not only a liar, but Don Wells loves to play. He likes to play little fucking mind games with people, right? He loves to play his little fucking mind games with, you know, people to really, you know, to see. He gets off on the reaction of, you know, doing evil shit to people. He loves it. It's something, you know, something really sinister inside that guy. There's something really sinister inside of him. I have seen him at work. And I'm telling you, he's damn good. I'm going to tell you right now, you could tell he's been doing it a long time. It ain't something he just started. This mother freaker been doing it a long, long time. Because he definitely knows how to get it done. And he's damn good at it. He is damn good. I had to hand that to him. You guys. Hey, Seeking Truth, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Super sticker. All right. God bless. God bless. I really appreciate that. But yeah, all right, Brat. There we go. 19-month member. Yes, this is why I can't delete my channel. Much love. Amen, girl. God bless. Yeah. You know, Don Wells, Mary's right. Mary is absolutely right. Don Wells is an obsessive compulsive liar as well. But Don Wells loves lying. He loves it. He's a sinister liar, right? I mean, Fred's one of those, you know, just fucking liars. You know, don't even know why he's lying. He just lies all the time about everything. This is a dude that can't tell the truth, right? I mean, this is a motherfucker. He tells some bizarre ass lies. Like, they're bizarre. I promise you. I can't remember exactly what the lie was. I wish I could. You know, but he said something. Ziggy was actually talking to him. And he said something that was so fucking far-fetched, right? It was so far-fetched. It wasn't coming back, baby. And that she was like, repeated it, right? You could tell that she was like, oh, hell no, right? I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I still mother freaking laughed. I don't remember what the lie was, but her reaction is so stuck in my fucking head. Every time I think about it, it makes me freaking want to just roll on the damn floor laughing, right? I just want to laugh my ass off. It was funny as hell. I mean, I wish I could remember the lie because it was a crazy lie. It was just crazy. Like, you know, something that could not have happened. No way, form, or how. I mean, it would have been, you know, I know all things are possible with God, but let me tell you, I think this was, you know, impossible for humans, what I'm saying. I mean, it wasn't possible for what Fred was saying. It was just funny as hell. And Ziggy knew it too. She knew it too. She's like, you know, I think she's a little bit embarrassed. You know, I think she was real. She's married up to this mother freaker, right? And I think that one was really some shame on her because I was like, whoa, you married that? Right? But yeah. But Don Wells, he's a whole new ball game. Don Wells loves to play mind games with people. You know, he likes to mind fuck. That's what it's called. He likes to mind fuck people. And he did it to Benny Keys, right? He did it to Cher. He did it to, you know, Doug. He did it to, I watched him. I watched this mother freaker in action. And Candace loves, you know, she loves to do it just as well as Don Wells. She's not as good at it, but she loves doing it also. You know, the great freaking pretenders, the freaking liars. They did it to Cam and Allie, right? They feel that they got some kind of right. Don Wells felt that he had some kind of right to suck these people in, mind fuck them the way he did, and roll them off the hill, right? And then roll them off the hill to make it even more traumatic on them than, you know, everything else he done as well. He really wanted to, you know, get to him, but he felt he had some right doing that because he felt that these people, you know, was portraying to be his and Candace's friends when they was only looking for information, you know, to try to, you know, destroy Candace and him, get them put in prison over what happened to Summer. That they didn't, you know, they just wanted to find the truth to what happened to Summer and housed Don and Candace up in a prison somewhere. So they felt that, okay, this is what you guys want to do. Come on in, right? Bring your ass into our fucking lair and, let us take care of you. And they did. Because that's what they do. That's what they do, you guys. And I got a feeling they was doing it to their kids. They were doing it to their neighbors. They was doing it to their friends long before YouTubers got into any of this. They have been doing this shit for years, right? They've been doing it for years. That's why their kids said, please, Judge, don't send us back to this hellhole. These people are insane. They're torturous. They get off on torturing people, and they do. Don and Candace actually get off on, making people's lives miserable. That's the way him and her bond. And I'm sure they was making those kids just as miserable as they made all the creators, as much as they made, their other people around them. Anybody they got a hold of, they turn on them. They suck you in for a while and they turn on you. Yes, he fools people into thinking he's one of the good ones. Then they find out he's a snake in the grass. Absolutely, Mary. I'll tell you. He is, him and Candace Wells are two of the most evilest bastards I've ever met in my life. And I'll tell you what, they are willing to lie. They are willing to lie on people, right? They're willing to lie on people in order to sit back and get that laugh. I mean, they'll say anything. They'll screw over anybody. It doesn't matter. If they ain't getting what they want, they're violent. Oh yes, Fred is. Fred is. And Fred Hill lived down the road there from Don Wells. And down towards the dead end is where Fred lives. When Summer went missing, Don Wells went down to Fred's house. Actually, he went up on the hill and talked with law enforcement for a few minutes. And then he came off the hill. He told law enforcement that he was going to go check out some dealers' houses that, he thinks may have had something to do with this daughter. And he went off the hill and went straight down to Fred's, down to the end, and parked his vehicle. Because for some reason he didn't want his vehicle up on the hill. He took his vehicle and he parked it all the way down at the end of the road, down by Fred's, and kept it there the whole entire night. The whole entire night, he left it down there. Yeah, he did. That's a true story. And he stayed at Fred's house. That whole entire, Candace was at 110 Ben Hill, hiding. She was at 110 Ben Hill hiding in the basement and kitchen. She was in the kitchen when she talked to Allison. She was in the basement when she was hiding in the basement when she talked to Allison's mother, which was around 1:30 in the morning. But she was in the house hiding herself up while Dom was down at Fred's house hiding himself up from law enforcement. They didn't want nothing to do with law enforcement when Summer went missing. Law enforcement, Robin Lane, and the other guy that went up there, the flute player went up there. All of these people were out there looking for Summer, talking about Summer, trying to find Summer, and everything. And Grandis, and even Grandis was hanging around a little bit out there, outside to hear everything going on. But Candace and Dom was hiding. Now I'm going to tell you, if you truly got a missing child, you really do have a missing daughter, You're not going to be hiding your ass up inside of a house. You're not going to be hiding your ass all the way down the road at some other guy's house. You're going to have your asses, you're going to have Grandis in the house watching the boys. And you and your husband are going to be outside all over law enforcement and trying to get your child found, right? You're going to be out there saying, "Why do you mean? You can't knock this off for the night. You got to keep looking. You got to keep them lights burning. You got to keep looking till morning. If my child's out there, you got to find my child. By morning, who knows what'll be done. You got to do something, right? You can't be giving up. You're going to be out there. You're going to be all over these people. You're going to be crying and screaming and begging, please don't leave, right? How could you leave my child out there if that's where it's at? Because you don't know what happened to your kid, right? You don't know. So, if law enforcement's thinking has wandered off, you want every inch of that checked. You want everything done right. Not Don and Candace. They were telling law enforcement that, she didn't wander off. You don't even need to be here. We feel sorry for you. But if this is what you want to do and what you have to do, go do it. But we can tell you now, she's not out there. And if they can sit there and tell law enforcement, where she isn't, then they have to know where she is. Because I'm going to tell you, if a child really disappears and you don't know, then you can't tell nobody where that child is or where it isn't, because you don't fucking know yourself. And you would be wanting everything looked into due to the fact you don't know, right? You don't know. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you something. Don and Candace Wells, PG, do you think Jody Sue Brown was driving the car that Fred said he's seen Andy in? Just a thought. No, I don't think Fred saw a vehicle at all. How could Fred see a vehicle? How could Fred see a vehicle when Fred and Laura was gone to the crusher? How could he see any vehicle? How could he see any vehicle? I mean, you plainly heard on Ziggy.
Something like that happened, Boo. Oh, I remember what I asked him, because if something like that happened and he did tow out something that had a body in it, he would not have been aware of it. It would have had to have been that. I did ask him if he thinks there's a chance that Candace or somebody stashed Summer in one of the vehicles that he was towing out that day.
He was towing vehicles out that day. He was towing vehicles. When Chad Arnold came in Ben Hill Road, June the 15th, 2021, between 3:30 and 4:30, when Chad Arnold came in there and caught Candace down at Fred's house, Fred and Laura had just left to go to the scrapper. They just left to go to the scrapper, to the junkyard. They were towing vehicles. And there's no way in hell he could have seen anybody's car, because he wasn't fucking there to see nobody. Right? He wasn't there. That's what I'm trying to tell everyone. He wasn't there to see them. Right here. This is Laura. This is Laura. Laura was asked. You see her picture, you see her name. This is Laura. Somebody asked her, she was asked, hey, when you guys hauled cars off and was late getting there, did you guys bring the car back? She said, no, we made it on time. We made it to the scrapper. She said they made it there that day, June 15, 2021. They made it to the scrapper. They didn't get back in Ben Hill Road till after 7 o'clock. Law enforcement was already all over the place. How could they see Andy if they wasn't there? Don't make no sense. See, Fred is now trying, since we've been talking about Chad coming into Ben Hill Road and catching Candace at Fred's house at the, around the time Fred and Laura left out of there. And no Summers in the vehicle, right? No Summers in her vehicle, and she's already telling Chad Summers missing between 3:30 and 4:30. Oh, Chad, Summers missing. There's no Summer in the vehicle. And no Grandis, no Summer. And, they're supposed to be planting flowers and stuff at this time. Right? They're supposed to be planting flowers, getting candy, washing their hands, going back to this is what they're supposed to be doing. But Chad pulls in and catches Candace down at Fred's instead. And there's no Summer in the vehicle. And Chad and Laura just pulled out of there. They just left. What do you think? And now Fred's trying to separate himself away from all of this. He's trying to separate. Now he changes his story. He no longer went to the crusher. He no longer, done on any Chad no longer pulled in and saw Candace at his house. None of this happened now. Now he was there and Andy was all over the road and Don Wells was up there and all these people. And he was there the whole day seeing it all because he couldn't go anywhere because of these people running in and out, right? It's bullshit. He's trying to separate himself from the truth. And the truth is exactly what he told law enforcement. Me and my old lady was hauling cars that day. The truth is exactly what he told Ziggy. Me and my old lady was hauling cars that day. That's the truth. That's what he really was doing. But some reason now he wants to separate himself from it. So you guys tell me why. Why is Fred now trying to separate himself from the truth of June 15, 2021? Why is he now trying to separate himself? Is it because we zoned in on Chad Arnold catching Candace at his house and him just pulling out? Is it because we zoned in that there's really no place else Summer could have went other than with him and Laura out of there? You tell me. Because I think that's exactly what it is. If you ask me, that's my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Fred is a piece of garbage. He is a piece of garbage. Fred was down there, running a lab. He was at his house running a lab, distributing stuff that destroys a lot of humans in this world, right? He was down there manufacturing one of the hardest things, one of the worst freaking, drugs, illegal drugs on the market, right? The one that takes so many people out of this world, right? The one that takes so many people up out of this world. He's down there manufacturing and distributing. Fred Hill does not give a damn about anyone, right? He don't care about nobody. If you care about people, you cannot manufacture something that can possibly, or more than likely will and has destroyed many lives, right? You're just not going to do it. Good people work a job every day, right? They don't sit at home and manufacture one of the worst fucking substances known to man. They just don't do it. Matter of fact, good people say no to drugs. Good people say no to drugs. They teach their children to say no to drugs, right? Good people get highly educated, and they highly educate their children to become good people in the world. Fred was not a good person. He was not a good person. He cares about himself. Exactly, Kim. A junkie. He was one, and his old lady was one. It seems like they was nothing but those kind of people affiliated with Fred and Dom Wells and Candace and Andy's and Jody Sue's, right? It seems like the worst of the fucking worst are affiliated with these people. I can't believe Ziggy is letting her daughter around him. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is crazy, Mary. It's crazy. Yes. Yes. Actually, Ziggy started turning off the camera. I don't know how true it is. I didn't see it. You guys. If I seen it, PG. If I seen it, I'd be like, hell yeah. It's for sure. It's for sure. I saw it with my own eyes. But I didn't see it. I just heard about it. But I heard that Ziggy had the camera on, and her daughter was running around in the house with nothing on but a freaking bra in front of Fred. Right? Now, I don't know if that's true or not. If you've seen it and it's true, put a 1 in my chat. This is just what I heard. This is just what I heard through the grapevine. I didn't see it. If I did see it, I'd tell you I seen it. But, I heard about it. If you know about it and you've seen it, or it happened, put a 1 in the chat. I didn't see it. It's secondhand information to me. It's just somebody told me. Somebody told me, that's why she's keeping the camera shut all the time now. So I don't know. Okay, somebody said sports bra. Kim says a sports bra. Molly says yes, it's true. Brat says yes, it is true. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I heard it. I'm like, whoa, you're gonna let your kid run around? And then I guess the statement that Ziggy made, after this happened, was, I'm lucky that she had that on, because most of the time she don't have anything at all on. What? What the heck? I'm going to tell you something. I tell you something right now. I have a daughter. I don't give a flying rat's ass to who believes I got one and who believes I don't. I know I do, and God knows I do. And I'm going to tell you something. My little girl, her ass better not come out. She better not come out of her bedroom undressed. She better be fully freaking clothed. And I'm talking pants and a shirt, socks, freaking shoes. She better be fully freaking clothed when she steps up out of her bedroom. She better have all her clothes on, because I'm going to tell you something. If she comes running through the house I don't care. I don't care if it's a freaking bikini top, which she's not allowed to wear. She comes running through my home with even a bikini top on. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to whoop that ass, and she can call 1-800. I just whooped that ass. That's fine with me. Make that call, baby, because I'm going to whoop her ass. That's right. Oh, hell no. I'm not raising no mother freaking saddle tramps. I'll tell you that right now. Absolutely not. My daughter better mother freaking respect herself, and she better come around where everybody else respects her too. I don't tolerate none of that. I'm going to tell you something. That's unholy. You ain't to fly around, with your body parts hanging out. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Absolutely not. I don't allow that. Absolutely, I don't allow it. I've got a beautiful daughter. I got a beautiful daughter, but I'm going to tell you now, she ain't going to be letting her mother freaking, cleavage all hang out of some shirt. She's not going to wear stuff all the way up to her freaking butt cheeks hanging out. She ain't doing that. I'll tell you right now. I'd be on her like stink on fucking shit. Don't think I wouldn't. And that's the truth. I tell you what, she'd do that about one time. She wouldn't do it no more. I'm going to tell you, respect is earned. And it's also learned. It's learned from a very young age up. You always teach your children to keep their bodies covered. You always teach your children that no one has a right to be looking or violating their freaking goody no places, right? You teach your children, not to entice it. Don't be trying to entice bad things to happen to you. You go around enticing it, and it probably will happen. Keep your mother freaking clothes on. I mean, what exactly is Ziggy raising up in that house, right? What is she raising? But I take note. I take note that, she sits on those lives and kind of tries to let her shit hang out too, right? And she wears those shirts that come way off of your shoulder, I don't know. As if she's trying to entice someone, in a wrong way, if you ask me, right? I don't know. From what Ziggy says, I guess, she's right up there with Jody Sue, and we know what Jody Sue was doing, right? I mean, your kids are only going to, a lot of times your kids are only going to give you the respect that you demand, right? I'm going to tell you, I love my kids. And I demand respect. Like I tell my kids, don't expect, you better respect. Because when you start expecting, that's when, you won't be getting shit from me. Don't go there. The poor girl is in her room all day and night playing video games and eating carbs, lots of them. Whoa, what? Oh, wow. She says she does her lives in her underwear with a blanket on her. Oh, my God. For real? For real? Oh, who would want to sit in that fucking chair? Right? I'm going to tell you, they ain't nobody better be sitting their ass in any fucking chair I have in they underwear. You better not be even thinking about your butt juice being that close to my my sofa, my freaking chairs, or anything else, right? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'm going to tell you something. My kids sleep in pajamas. I sleep in pajamas. They ain't nobody be going, oh, hell no. That's insane. Mm-mm. Somebody be getting butt juice all over your stuff? Oh, hell no. Wow. I bet that mother freaking chair smells real good. She sits in and does those lies, right? That's disgusting. That is straight up disgusting. And Fred's all waddling. He's all waddling in it now, right? Ugh. Wow. Well, he probably ain't got no more. He probably ain't no more, he's probably uncouth as they are, right? He's probably as fucking couth as they are, to be honest. Wow. I started acting out when my stepdad came into the picture. I think Ziggy's daughter was doing some really bad stuff before Fred ever got there. Because I remember Jenna. Calling Child Protective Services on Ziggy because Ziggy's daughter was meeting up with some boy, actually a man, to my understandings. Ziggy's daughter was running out. She was like 14, running out, meeting up with some man, doing some really not good stuff, right? And telling Jenna's daughter about it. Right? Yeah. That's what I heard. That's what Jenna said. Jenna told everybody. Jenna told everybody about it back in the day when it was going on. Because Ziggy's daughter had been talking to Jenna's daughters, right? And confiding a lot of stuff in them. And that's one of the things she happened to tell, Jenna's daughter, that she met up with this, man, somebody that was a lot older than herself. And she was only like 14, I believe, at the time. And supposedly met up and, and this guy got her to do some nasty stuff to him. From what Jenna was saying. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't hear it. I just know what Jenna was saying. And I don't think Jenna would lie about it. But, I think she did call Child Protective Services and get Protective Services involved, over it. Because Ziggy was acting like it was nothing, right? That there's no problem with her daughter doing these things. So, I don't know. I mean, look at Ziggy. She she stands outside the prison gate and marries a fucking criminal. What do you expect out of her? I mean, what kind of mother, what kind of role model is Ziggy for her daughter? Right? She goes up there, gets with the number one suspect in a missing little girl's case. This number one suspect ends up in prison. Ziggy's standing there when he gets out, right? She's standing at the prison gate waiting for him to come out, and she marries him up and takes him to her house. I mean, who the hell does that? What kind of role model are you for your child? I mean, she's raising a daughter. When she tells her daughter not to do something, her daughter's going to be like, why not? You do. You know, that's what she's going to hear. Why not? You do it. Well, if you don't want to hear that, man, don't be doing it. Right? You want to tell your daughter, I don't do it and your ass ain't doing it either. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, it's sad. It's sad because, you know, if her daughter would have had somebody that really loved the little girl, really cared about her, really would have, you know, took the time to raise her righteously, you know, in a good environment, and raised her to, you know, not only respect herself, but to respect others, and to dress decently and to act decently, and, you know, to be a plus in this world, you know, to put God first. To put God first, everything else, you know, everything else falls in its place. The little girl could have amounted to something really, you know, really big in this life, right? She could have amounted to something. And I seen Ziggy's daughter. I mean, not recently, but I saw her, you know, back at the beginning of everything about 3 years ago. And she's a pretty girl. She's a very pretty girl. You know, a lot of potential, you know, if she could have gotten well educated and everything, she could have had a great life. She could have, you know, became something really good. She could have married someone, you know, that was educated and financially stable. And she could have had a really good life in the future, a good family, you know. Sometimes you got to break the chain, you know, sometimes you got to break the chains, you know, in a family that holds you back, right? Sometimes you got to be the one. You got to be the one that says, you know, this shit ain't going to fly no more, right? There's going to be no more abuse. There's going to be no more, you know, neglect. There's not going to be no more, you know, there's not going to be trashy any longer. It's going to be classy. You know, I want better. I don't want to be standing at the prison gate to find a husband. I don't want to be, you know, a freaking addict or an alcoholic. I don't want to, you know, be doing stuff that makes me feel ashamed of myself. I don't want to say, you know, who will have me when I could be saying, who will I have? Right? I want a better life, and I got to break the chains away from these people who, you know, are leading me in a bad way. I want a different life, and I want to raise my kids, you know, differently. I want to raise my kids with love, kindness, and caring. I want to raise my kids, you know, to have things in this life, not to go to the fucking dollar store to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? I don't want DoorDash showing up. I want my refrigerator to be full so that my kids always have something to eat. You know, you have to break the chain. You know, maybe Ziggy's daughter will. At some point, maybe she'll put on her clothes and break the damn chain. Maybe she'll decide to get educated. Maybe she'll decide, you know, to get away from Ziggy and all that madness. And, you know, get a good life for herself out there, because it's out there. But it all starts with you respecting yourself. People are only going to give you the respect that you demand, that you ask for, that you deserve. You can't be running around, you know. Hey, Melissa, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. God bless. Amen. I got a super chat. All right. God bless. I really appreciate that, sweetie. Absolutely. But yeah, I want DoorDash to show up right now with some egg rolls. hey, I'm right there with you, Molly. Where you live? Where you live, girl? PG gonna show. I'm not bringing egg rolls, man. I'm showing up to get some. Right? I want them to already be there when I get there. I'm just gonna help you eat them. Right? I want to help you eat them, girl. Make sure you get some fried rice too. I love fried rice. Order up that fried rice and tell them make sure they don't forget, they don't forget the sweet and sour sauce and teriyaki. Right, man, I'll be right there with you. We could watch a Christmas movie, eat Chinese. Hell yeah. Drink some sake. All right. We do it up. I tell you, Molly about to become PG's best friend. I deserve a cheat day. I need some egg rolls. Yeah, I heard that. Right? Exactly. Exactly. And a lot of people say that they're like mother, like daughter, I'm going to be honest with you. I've met a lot of girls, a lot of times it is mother like daughter. But I've also met a lot of I've got a lot of good friends. They raised by their grandmother. They raised up by their grandmother, and I'm going to tell you something. They beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They don't act nothing like their mother. And they way sweeter than their mama. Hey, Flora, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Member for 3 months. All right. That house is dysfunctional. So she's just going to do whatever she wants. Ziggy seems not to care. As long as Ziggy is the way she is right now, she's going to be a wild teenager on just how it goes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a fight worth fighting. I have great kids. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you now, if you really, really love your children, if you really love your kids, man, you really do love your children, you're going to put your kids first. You ain't going to put you first. You're not going to put you or your needs first. You're going to put your child and your child's needs above everything. What I'm saying is you're going to do without so they can have, right? You're not going to bring weirdos around them because you love your kids. You don't want no weirdos around your kids. You want to keep weirdos away from your kids, right? You don't be standing outside a prison gate, with a fucking marriage license ready to marry up, one of these prisoners, drag them home. What the hell you be thinking? Is that crazy or what? Like, damn. I'm gonna tell you, I got a freaking teenage daughter, and I'm gonna tell you now, that child can be hell on wheels. For real, she can be hell on wheels. She loves mischief, right? She does. She loves to She loves to start it up with her brother. She just loves to do things, and but I'm going to tell you what, when I say do things, I mean, she likes to hog the game machine. She likes to win, right? She likes to win all the time. She likes to, I'm not going to lie, she'll cheat. She'll cheat on a board game in order to win. If there's a way, she can work her way around it, she will. She's something. She's something. But I tell you what, she dresses decently. She talks decently. She acts decently. She respects herself. She respects others. When she's with her brothers, she wants to, act hardcore like they are. She wants to, try to fit in with them, and so forth and so on. And kids are going to do, they're going to do little things like that. They're going to hog the game machine. They're going to always want to win the game. She's very competitive. As she should be. My sons are very competitive too. They don't let her, what I'm saying is, just because she's their sister, they don't let her win. They ain't going to do that. I mean, I got one that says, why don't she let me win? I'm younger, right? Why doesn't she give me a break? So, we're supposed to give her one because she's a girl. And they're right. But they're all competitive. My daughter loves to, she loves to rearrange my kitchen. I can't walk out of a room. I can't walk out of a room and leave her in it for fear she may change it all up before I get back. Right? She thinks she's an interior decorator. I got one that thinks he's Mr. Fix-It. And I got another one that thinks they're an interior decorator. Put those two together and see how long your house lasts, right? See how long that your house lasts. Every time I turn around, I'm calling in a professional because Mr. Fix-It didn't fix it. And I don't even know if it needed fixed, but it sure in the hell ain't fixed, and it needs fixed now. And then, you got Mrs. Interior Decorator, twisting rooms around, and it's like, yeah, it's not easy being a parent. It is not easy being a parent, but it's worth it. That's absolutely true. For everybody in here tonight that said, hey, it's worth it, you got that right. I'm going to tell you something. Your kids are going to be there when nobody else is. You can trust and believe that. You need to be there for your kids. Because I'm going to tell you something. When everybody else is gone, your kids are going to be there for you if you was there for them. They're going to be there for you. Your kids, your kids are going to always love you unconditionally. And you're going to always love them unconditionally. There's no strings attached. None. No matter how many men you meet, there's always going to be shit attached to it. Right? There's always stuff attached to it. The only ones you're going to find that truly love you unconditionally, it's God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, probably the angel you got watching over you, and your children, your parents. Your parents are going to love you unconditionally. And maybe, if you're lucky, a few of your siblings, right? Because even your siblings don't going to love you unconditionally. A lot of siblings, they don't love you unconditionally. A lot of your siblings just love you for what the hell you could do for them. right? It's what can you do for me? You know, I'm going to tell you, there is a bond between parents and children that cannot ever be broken. Kids are always going to love their mom and dad, and mom and dad is supposed to always love their children. It's just the way it is. But there's a lot of sorry ass people in this world today. They don't love their kids. There's a lot of kids that don't love their parents, right? What the hell's going on out there? What's going on? I don't know. When kids don't love their parents, usually the kids are being abused or they're being too damn spoiled. One or the other. There wasn't a good balance in the household. If you spoil kids, if you give kids everything they want and spoil them, they don't respect you. They don't respect anything. They expect everything. They end up being out of control. They think you owe them everything from then on. They don't look at you as their mother. They look at you as a sugar mama. Yeah. And if you abuse your kids, they look at you like the piece of shit you are. And they can't wait to get away from you. You've got to balance your household. You got to balance everything. You can't spoil your kids, but you don't need to neglect and abuse them either. The Wells children completely abused. Ziggy's kid, that's a different ball game. I don't think Ziggy abuses her child. I think Ziggy just doesn't put in any time with her child. I think Ziggy, just lets her daughter go and do whatever her daughter wants to do and sets no boundaries. She sets no boundaries for this kid. And that's the problem. Ziggy's not parenting. She's not parenting at all. And that is the problem right there. Right? That's exactly the way it is. Yeah, right, Kim? It's the truth. I promise you it is. That's the way they look at you. I'm like, whoa. I was watching this TikTok thing. And this little girl, she was telling her mom, I don't like spending all your money, right? I don't like spending all your money, but I really need this and I really need that, right? And I'm just like, whoa, my kids learned really young. They learned really young, that we cannot afford things. And when we go into this store, I love you guys. I love you. And I have to take you in the store. I have to take you, almost everywhere with me because I ain't got no one to really watch over you other than me now that your dad's gone. But when we go in here, if I say no, it's not because I don't love you. It's because we don't have the money. If we have the money, then I'll get you something. But if we don't have it and I look at you and I say, no, put it back. It's not because I'm mean. It's because we can't afford it and we don't want to get embarrassed. So please, we got to work as a team right now. We have to work as a team, it makes me sad too, you know, to want something that we can't afford as well. But we have to work together as a team, you guys. So, you know, and I tell you, I didn't have no trouble with them. I had no trouble with them. You know, sometimes they'd want something and I would have to say no. We only, you know, we were on a budget. We was on a budget. And you know, they put it right back. And they got right back. They would get right back, you know, with the cart and we'd move on. And my kids say, "It's okay, Mom. It's okay. We understand. We're a team." And I said, "That's right." You know, so you can, you know, you don't have to be angry or upset or, you know, or rechannel aggression on your kids because you don't, you know, because you just explain to them. Kids are really smart. And if you just explain to them what's going on, you know, they'll understand and they'll work with you. I got amazing kids. But we're a team. We work together. They know what we can afford, what we can't. And we work together to have what we do. And we thank God for everything. You know, they're amazing. And you know, yes, I do feel blessed. I do feel very blessed. But you know, it's not no glory to PG, it's all glory to God. I let God have a hand in raising my children. And I thank God he put his hand there to help raise them. They have turned out amazing. And I thank God for that. Yeah, you always got to be worried, Raven, about bringing guys around. Like my fiance, you know, I just told him the way it is. Look, you're here for me, not my kids. I put a roof over their head, clothes on their back, food on the table, right? I take care of my own children. I don't ask you to do any of that. What I do ask you is, you know, don't be trying to parent them. The first time you say something to me, you know, ugly about my kids, or the first time that you say something to one of my children, it's going to be done. It's going to be over, right? I won't tolerate that. And I told him straight up from the get, you know, when we first met, we first started dating, I said, you know, we will have a problem if you do this. And I haven't ever had a problem. You know, he's there for me. My kids like him. I like him. I love him. You know, but my kids like him. They get along with him great. And he treats them really nice and everything, but he doesn't try to parent them. He doesn't try to tell me what to do with them or, you know, anything. And that's, you know, that's the way I like it. And I don't tell him, you know, I don't tell him how to act or treat or do around his family. You know, what's his is his, what's mine is mine. And, you know, we're there for one another. It's just the way it is. And, you know, I don't let him come staying and laying around my house. And I don't go stay and lay around his house. You know, we've been dating, and, you know, we have our date nights and things. And, you know, I see him when I can, and he sees me when he can. And that's it. You know, we'd like to get married at some point. We're supposed to already been married. We already supposed to been married. And I'm not saying there ain't been some complications, right? That there ain't been some complications about all of this, because, you know, at one point I didn't think he was going to want to wait much longer, right? I thought that probably we were going to break it up, but, you know, I don't know what's held it together, but something has. And I'm sure at some point, we're going to probably be married, hopefully this June. Hopefully this June, right? We'll end up being married. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But I plan on having myself a big wedding. Absolutely. I want all the bells and whistles. Something I really didn't get with my last marriage. So, this time round, I like to have a big wedding. When I first got divorced, when my kids were very young, I didn't have anything, and he wouldn't give me anything. I went without for my children, and I don't even see Ziggy doing that. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, girl, I know what you mean. My husband passed away. He passed away, and me and my kids had nothing, right? We had nothing. And we had to build from the ground up. But we did it. We did it. And, determination. That's what it takes. Determination. And your kids are really lucky to have you, girl. They are lucky to have you. God bless. Sometimes that's true, Rachel. My stepdad was more of a dad than my birth father. Sometimes that's true. I've heard a lot of people say that. I've heard a lot of people say how much they love their stepdad. Like Mary. Like Mary and her sisters, they loved Donald's dad. They said their stepdad's was way better than their biological dad. I mean, they call, as far as Mary is concerned, Don's dad is her biological dad. I mean, that's how much she loves him. Her and her sisters, right? They really love. Mary loves her mom and and Donald's dad. Mary's a good woman. She's a really good, wife, mother. She's a really good, daughter. Mary's an amazing woman. And I do love her cooking channel. Right? I love her cooking channel. I'm too set in my ways to get married again. I heard that. I'm going to tell you, I often wondered if I really, wanted to, get to know someone like that again, right? I mean, it takes a long time. I mean, when you're dating, like, me and my fiance, I really don't know him. What I'm saying is when you get married to somebody, they move into your house, it's a whole new ball game, right? When they move in with you, oh, hell, now it's all different, because now you learn a lot of things you didn't know about them, right? Like how they hog the bathroom and how they prefer, their clothes hung up or folded or this or that. And it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And how they like all their food cooked, and oh my God. It can be a lot getting into all of that again. Not to mention you got to wash their freaking underwear, right? And I don't know. I'm a germophobic man, right? I don't know. I'd probably be wearing I'd probably have to buy a box of them damn rubber gloves, right? Handle people's undies and shit. I don't know. I mean, right now he washes his own stuff, right? So I will yell my son's name because he's going out the door and he just looks over his shoulder. He's like, I know, Mom, you love me. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. I told my son the other day, he was heading out of my office, and I was like, you know, he's like, I'm going to go and hang out, in the game room. I said, oh, okay, I love you. And he said, what'd you say? I said, I love you. And he said, yeah, I know. I just wanted to hear it again. I was like, oh, he's so sweet. What does he want? Hey, right? Not sure. Probably going to ask for something big for Christmas. That one was being too nice. I get suspicious when they start being too nice. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Exactly, Valerie. Exactly. Sometimes people want to try to start living your life, right? Telling you how to spend your money, how to do this, how to do that. Exactly. I understand. I don't like no one trying. I had too many people live my life for too long, right? I always had other people trying to tell me how to live my damn life. And there's nothing that will make you sick quicker than people trying to live your life for you. God gave you this life. They lived their damn lives, and they need to let you live yours, right? Absolutely. I understand where you're coming from, girl, more than you know. Hey, justice for you. How you doing? She says, hello, beautiful Mama PG. Hello, hello, hello to you, girl. Good to see you in here. You know PG loves you. My man respects me and don't tell me what to do. I heard that, Rachel. I wouldn't put up with that. I heard you. Absolutely. Stay where you are in hell like a wolf. Yeah. I didn't ever think of that, girl. I didn't ever think of that. That's funny as hell. I didn't think of it. If I did, I'd probably do it too. Right. Hey, right. I'm going to tell you something. Trust me, I was married. I was married. And if there's something scary in a basement, your ass is going to be the one going to look anyway, right? You're going to be looking anyway. I'm going to tell you something. Oh, heck no. I'd hear something, and wake up my old man, and he, like, hey, I heard something, and you have to tell them like 3 times, right? Because they're like not comprehending it or something. I don't know. But finally, if they do comprehend it, right? If they do comprehend it, it's like they're all slow getting up. They're all slow, right? And hell, you're already up. You're already ready. And then they're going to mother freaking follow you. They're going to follow you. It's like, mother freaker, what are you doing behind me? Right? I think the kids need their mom more than you. What are you doing behind me? Ain't you the one supposed to be in front? You know. Well, we're on the staircase right now. How am I supposed to get in front of you? Like, move that ass to the side, right? Like, ain't like you got to squeeze by. Come on. What the hell? Yeah. That's my old man. That was my old man. Straight up. I think his ass was scared, if you ask me. I think he was scared. I was like, shit, I'm going to be the one, I don't know if I'm ready to, I don't know if I'm ready to take a bullet for you, buddy. You asked me to get in the front and take one for me. Right? You asked me to marry you. I didn't ask you to marry me. I think it was you that said for better, for worse first. I think the preacher asked you those questions before he asked me, right? What the hell am I doing in the front? I want to tell you, my old man was something else. But I tell you what, I could sure get him to do some stupid things. It cracked me up. Molly said I'd be scared too. I'm gonna tell you, yeah, basements are creepy. Basements are creepy. No lie. I mean, that's where my office is. My office, that's where I'm at now. I'm in the basement. And and it can get, it can get a little weird. Like when I get off this live, I've got to, block up my office and go, go through my basement. My basement is actually finished. I got a big basement. I mean, it looks like the rest of the house, but but it's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy to come out of your office, in a dark, and you're standing in a big dark ass, basement. That's kind of weird. And then you have to head, through there, up to the next floor, and then from that floor to the next floor. And it really gets creepy when you're walking and all of a sudden you hear some weird woman say something to you and you don't even, understand what the fuck they just said. And it's even weirder when you answer them. Like, what did you say? They wasn't even supposed to be there, right? And then when you realize that you're talking to something that ain't even supposed to be there, and it's like, oh hell, where's the next light switch at, right? Because I can't see this. And seeing it is half the battle, right? Half the battle and winning the battle. And it's like, whoa. And I still ain't found it. I still ain't found whatever the hell it was. I still ain't found it to this day. So, and that was a few weeks back. But then again, I ain't found a few other things I've seen as well and heard. So I don't know. Maybe I'm making, maybe I'm eating too many brownies. I don't know. Maybe them freaking Munster brownies are talking to me. Yeah, my brownies are good. I gotta admit that. You eat those things, you don't feel no pain. All right? You ain't feeling shit. I got Candy Cane, old freaking weird Candy Cane in the back chat here, hanging out with me. Backstage. There's Candy Cane. All right. Old Candy Cane trying to hang out with somebody. Right in the private chat. Oh, would you please, for the grace of your God, give Summer Wells a rest and move on. Let her rest in peace. Let her rest in peace. We want her to rest in peace. We would love for her to rest in peace. Right? Where is she? How could she rest in peace? How could she rest in peace out there, not knowing where she's at, and no one else knowing where she's at? How can she rest in peace, knowing that her brothers can't rest in peace because they don't know where she's at or what's happened to her as well? You know, if you want your daughter to rest in peace, why don't you let her be found? Why don't you let her be brought home? And why don't you let justice be served? Why don't you do that? Right? And you saying you'd like her to rest in peace? So you're admitting she's no longer with us? Right? Which you didn't have to, we knew that. You didn't have to say a word there, girl. We already knew. Right? That's nothing new to us. I mean, it clarifies it even more so. But it was kind of clarified with your fucking memorial sofa out front of your house there, right? Your little bench, your little memorial bench. That let us know that Summer ain't with us. You and Donald going up to Utah and putting up some kind of fucking rocks on top of each other, some weird shit up there in the mountains and calling it a memorial for Summer. That let us know. Don saying he'll see her in the resurrection. That let us know. You saying that your boys are still here and they're still alive, right? And that you need to focus on them and put Summer aside. This, Summer always be with you. That let us know that she's not with us as well. I mean, I don't know why I feel so surprised about you talking that shit again. But we would love her. We would love for her to rest in peace. And I think she will when she's found, and her brothers can rest in peace too. Summer paid the price so her brothers could get the hell out of that hell cell that they were being neglected and abused so badly in. She paid the price to free them up. But they're not completely free because they're living right now not knowing what happened to her. And until they know what happened, they're not going to be able to move forward and have a productive life, a normal life. And that isn't what Summer wants. Summer wants her brothers to be completely free. And the only way they're going to be free is if she's found and brought home and justice gets served. And they know that they had nothing to do with it. We're not just working for Summer. We're working for her brothers as well. Because that's who she paid the whole price for. So shut up, Candace. You want PG to go away, like I said. You want me to go away? Well, let your daughter be found. Let her be found. What was you doing at Fred Hill's house that day? What was you doing down there when you got caught up by Chad Arnold? What was you doing down there? Why wasn't Summer in the car? Where was Summer? Why was you down there when you supposed to be planting flowers, washing hands, getting candy, and walking her back to the door, where she supposedly disappears a little while later? Why was you at Fred's? Gotta wonder about that. Why don't you answer some questions, Candace? Why don't you tell law enforcement why you was at Fred's between 3:30 and 4:30 telling Chad Arnold that your daughter's already missing when she wasn't supposed to be missing until 5:55 to 6:05. Why don't you go and tell law enforcement that? Why don't you cooperate with law enforcement and tell law enforcement all about why Summer came up missing in the first place? Why don't you tell law enforcement why you know, your boys are, you know, you need to focus on your boys because they're still here and they're still alive. Why don't you tell law enforcement why you don't need to focus on Summer? Why don't you tell law enforcement why, you know, Summer isn't alive? You said the boys were, so she obviously ain't. So why don't you tell them what you know about all of this? Why don't you tell them about from 2:30 to 6:30? Why don't you tell them about the time that, you know, from the time you supposedly dropped off Hunter to the time you know everything that happened that morning till you dropped Hunter off. So why don't you tell law enforcement what happened from the time you dropped him off, you know, until Summer supposedly went missing? Why don't you, how about that? How about giving them that timeline? How about you and Donald working to clear yourselves? How about you and Donald going on? I'll give you one better. And this is very simple, Candace. Since you want to write in my back chat, come visit me up over here. I'll give you one better. Why don't you go on Steve Wilko's show and take a lie detector's test? And if you get to sit that big ass, dirty ass, down in a chair, if he lets you sit your big ass in that dirty, you know, that dirty butt of yours in a chair without throwing it off the stage, telling you get the hell out of there. He don't want to see you or look at your face anymore. Well, if you pass that lie detector's test and you sit down in that chair, you and good old Donnie, I'll definitely shut this channel down right then and there. I'll shut it down. I'll be gone. Don't worry, will not see PG again. Won't hear from me, won't see me. I'll just be gone. How about that, Candace? Everybody that thinks that's a wonderful idea for Don and Candace to go on Steve Wilkos and take the lie detectors test and pass it in order to get this channel shut down and not ever be existing again, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. I think it's a beautiful idea. Somebody put a 1 for PG because I think it's a great idea, y'all. I think it's awesome. I think that's the best idea we've had in a long time. Yeah. Go on. Go on. See? Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees. Right? Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Exactly. There we go. See? Even all the chat here, agrees. All Summer's army. They're like, hell, we'll shut this channel down. We'll all go our way. We'll all go our way, Candace. Go take that lie detector's test. Go on. What are you afraid of? Have you watched D. Wilco? Have you watched him? And that's why you don't go on there, because if you don't pass that lie detector's test, then he's going to contact law enforcement in Tennessee and he's going to give them all of his findings. And when you get back, you might be arrested. Is that what you and Don's afraid of? Is that why you don't go there? Is that what you was afraid of when you went to Philbilly's to do a show there that you bawled on the whole time because you felt you was being interrogated? How the hell can you be interrogated in your own daughter's missing case? How can you be interrogated if you didn't do nothing? If you didn't do anything to your daughter, no one can interrogate you. No one can interrogate you. You can't be interrogated if you're innocent. There's no way in hell. You can't even feel interrogated because you're too busy wanting to work with law enforcement, wanting to do everything it takes to find your child, wanting to get the evil people that did something to your child in a prison cell because you just can't stand living until you do get them in the prison cell after they've done such a horrible thing and took such a precious child away from you. that they had no rights doing. Oh, that's right. Abduction, no signs of it. Law enforcement, pretty damn sure that didn't happen, right, Candace? And how? Wandering off? You and Donald made sure you let everybody know that didn't happen either. So what does that leave? Foul play. And foul play is what? Meaning that foul play is meaning the parents did something. Foul play means you know what happened. Right? And that's really all that's left on the table. That foul play is all that is left. After, from what I hear, from what I understand from law enforcement, that's all that was left was foul play. You and your old man's number one suspects, and Granny, right? You guys are number one suspects. Yep, that sums it up right there. And that's why you didn't get your kids back. You didn't get them back because you didn't get those kids back due to the fact that you can't clear yourselves in your daughter's own missing daughter's case. You can't clear yourself. Well, if you want to clear yourself, go to Steve Wilco. I would have been on there. I'd have been on Steve Wilco. I would have took a lie detector's test for Phil Billy. I'd have took one for Steve Wilco. I would have took one for law enforcement. I'd have took one for everybody. Pick a number, stand in fucking line with your machine, because you can all hook me up if I didn't do nothing. The only way you ain't hooking me up is if I did. All right? Then I wouldn't want to be hooked up. I'd be trying to run from that shit too. Hell yeah. Who wouldn't? Nobody wants to spend life in prison, do they? Love you, PG. Can Summer is not resting in peace. Amen. Absolutely. Summer needs to be found so she can rest in peace. You stupid. Hey, you got that right. You got that right. I agree. 150%. Carrie Hall, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's so much appreciated. And thank you for always being here for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Oh, I appreciate that, Molly. I appreciate that. God bless. Hey, Carrie, I appreciate it too, girl. I absolutely, positively appreciate your support for Summer's channel. God bless. God bless. And you are so right. Absolutely right. I agree 150%. I couldn't have said it better myself. Candace, you said nobody do that to Summer if you were there. What's that mean? Absolutely. You know, I'm going to be honest with y'all. In my opinion, she was there. In my opinion, she was there. You know, maybe she wasn't there. Maybe she wasn't there. Maybe she wasn't there for initially what happened, right? Maybe she wasn't there for initially what caused it all to have to go down, right? I mean, it sounds like they allowed, you know, this is my opinion, just my scenario. It sounds to me like, you know, they possibly allowed something to go down, you know, that caused Summer, because Summer was looking awful sick. She was looking, you know, she was looking really bad. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. Summer was looking very, very bad off. She was looking bad off. She was you know, like she's going downhill. If you ask me, the last pictures of Summer, you know, she wasn't looking right. She was looking really bad, you know, like something was wrong. And you know, she was looking sick. Something wasn't right, you guys. And Right. She's really looking bad. And I think that, it's a possibility, that could have been what Candace was talking about. Could have been what she's talking about. They might allow something to happen that, took her down that way. And then they couldn't explain it. They couldn't get no no doctor, no hospital help for her without going to prison. And they had to make a decision. They had to make a decision, and June the 15th, I think at June the 15th at that water hole, that's where the decision, I think the decision got made before that. But I think that's where it all went down. I think that, my opinion is Summer was not with us on those milk jugs. My opinion is she was dressed at Allison's house and Allison knew everything. My opinion is, that particular video Candace took was staged up. That child was not, she wasn't gone long enough for law enforcement to be able to determine that she wasn't alive. But I think that they pretty much knew it. And when she came back into Ben Hill Road, I think that's possibly why she was down at Fred's, right? Because she needed, I think it was all set up, done already, everything set up. And I think that's why Fred's trying to, separate himself from the truth on June 15th, 2021. I think he was hauling cars, and I think he did, take a car to, I think they did make it to the crusher. Like Laura said, in time. And, and I think now Fred's wanting to separate himself because he thinks that car may still be able to, because he don't know what they did with that. He has no idea where that car is either. So, he might think they're still able to, track it down and find it. Or, even possibly, I don't know. All I know is Candace had all the clothes Summer's supposed to be wearing in that box, except for the pants. She had everything else in that box, So, and that just seems like that's the type of person Candace is, right? She's not going to let anything go to waste. She's not going to let nothing go to waste. She feels she paid for those clothes. They were new. She's taking them back, right? And she did. And they were in that box. I think we're dealing with a group of people who are a lot more sinister than we think. Did Andy and Jody Sue have anything to do with what happened to Summer that particular day? I don't think so. Do I think that they had anything to do with all the stuff that was going on beforehand? Yes. Do I believe Jody Sue when she said Andy was supplying, Candace with the stuff to sedate these children to be touched? Yes. I believe all of those things. And I think that's the initial reason that, what went down on the 15th went down. And, I don't think any of these people, are innocent. I think they're all evil. I think they're all trying to throw each other under the bus now to save their own asses. And it's a shame. It's a shame that it's a shame that we even have to be out here trying to find this little girl. trying to bring her home, trying to get justice, trying to get closure for her brothers, for ourselves. You know, it's a shame that we're even out here. This should have not ever happened to this little girl to begin with. There should have been someone. There should have been someone. One of those low-life fuckers up there should have had enough heart, enough love and kindness to call Child Protective Services and try to save these kids. Somebody should have had enough to step in and demand that these children be looked into with a fine-tooth comb and something done before this ever happened. Someone should have cared, but no one did. That tells you how evil these people were when none of them did a damn thing to help these children that were being so neglected and so abused, grossly neglected and abused. That's like, you know, the highest level of abuse you can go. So, it is what it is. It is what it is, you guys. But anyway, I like to got a lot more out tonight. I do not think Andy was on that road June the 15th, 2021. I showed receipts. That prove that Fred's lying. I brought the receipts to the table tonight, you guys. I brought the receipts. No one can say that PG did not bring receipts. You know, it's not my words. This is Laura's words. You know, this is Laura right there. That's Laura. No, we made on time. We made it on time, she says. They said, oh, okay. We made it on time to the crusher. They were hauling cars that day. They couldn't have seen Andy because they were not there to see Andy. They wasn't there to see Chad Arnold when he came in and found Candace down at Fred's house. So, you know, and clearly I played to you.
And Boo, oh, I remember what I asked him, because if something like that happened and he did tow out something that had a body in it, he would not have been aware of it. It would have had to have been I did ask him if he thinks there's a chance that Candace or somebody stashed Summer in one of the vehicles that he was towing out that day.
Then he was towing out that day, June 15th, 2021. He was towing out that day. That's his wife's voice. That's his wife's voice. Right? He was towing cars that day. He couldn't have seen Andy. It's lies. I brought the receipts to the table. Now, Tiffany Marie needs to bring them. Don't tell us how you got something. Bring it. Don't tell us you got solid this or that. Show that. Show the money. Show the money. Right? Don't talk shit. Put the money where your mouth is. Come on. Bring it out here. We want to see it. We're tired of hearing what you got. We want to see. You know, you say you got proof, prove it. Bring it out. Stop talking about it. Stop fucking talking about it. Bring it out here. But I'd like to get more out tonight. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. And we'll be discussing this and other things even further, right? We'll be discussing it more as we progress with all of this. And all I got to say before I leave out of here is please, please, please keep the prayers going up for Summer Moon Utah Wells. I do not ever leave without asking for everyone to pray for this baby. She is the victim. That is why we are here. We are not here for suspects. We don't give a damn about none of them. What we do care about is Summer Moon Utah Wells, the little girl, 5 years old, that is missing, needs to be found, brought home, justice served. The 5-year-old little girl that the last words we heard was, "Help me. Somebody, anybody, please help me." Well, I'm sure that wherever she is, those words are still ringing out. So let us pray. Let us pray that God helps her and that we can help her too. That He gives us all the tools we need to find this baby and bring her home and get justice for her. Because God's the only one that's going to be able to solve this case. And I know He can. I know He can. So please keep those prayers going up for this baby who so desperately needs to be found, brought home, and justice served. And closure needs to be gotten for her brothers. And we care about nothing else here but that. These missing children are the victims. And that is who we support. Nothing more, nothing less. Amen. And please pray for little Sebastian Rogers. Pray for Michael Vaughn. Pray for these children. They really need prayers and they really need help being found. And that's what we're out here. That's why we're here, to try to get as much help behind them as we can. We're here to let law enforcement know we're watching and we want them to do their job. We want them to be doing what they're getting paid for, and that's to get out there and solve these cases. They need to help these children. These children are depending on them, and we are dependent on them too. We're dependent on them because we have to, right? We have to. We ain't got a choice. So they need to get out there and do their damn job and find these babies. That's what they need to be doing. And they need to be arresting these evil beings that can do such evilness to children and get them the hell off the street so all of their children are safe, right? That's what I'm talking about. All right, everybody. And pray for one another. Pray for one another. That's what God wants us to do. And if you got time, pray for PG as well. And always know I'm praying for you. I always pray for you. Good night, everybody. God bless and much love.